Yo, what's up, friends? Welcome back to
The Nerd Guys Podcast.
your one-stop shop for all nerd fandom.
Right. We say all nerd fandom. We mean all nerd fandom. We are the number one nerds on the internet. All of the internet. Won't find anyone nerdier than ourselves. Yeah.
How you guys doing? Welcome in. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back, welcome back.
And if you're coming, but going, but coming, hello, goodbye, and hello again. Really appreciate you all being here. Oh man, I know we say it every week, but it's like every time we apply ourselves and we start cooking, bro, we let it go. We let it go. Like Chef Curry with the pot, James Harden like little little twirl, stirring the pot, whipping it with our wrists while we typing. Like this is a jam-packed episode today. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah. Quick thing for all of you. Thank you guys so much for checking out Nerd News.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much. It had, last I checked, over 700 views on YouTube and 18 likes. So, shout out to all of y'all for really enjoying Nerd News. We really enjoy making it. It was like a really stupid idea that we had, but I guess that's how it works in social media land.
Listen, you find something you gravitate towards, and then it just worked.
Yeah. So like, bruh. So all right. So I'll just read you all some stats real quick. For Nerd News, we have 780 views, a 3% impressions click-through rate, and the average view duration went down. It is now like 1 minute 10 seconds, but it's what it is. And yeah, we picked up 2 subscribers. And for everybody that is watching on YouTube, because this is your primary place of watching, thank you very much for watching. We truly do appreciate you. If you want an early screening of Nerd Guys, we tend to stream Fridays in the afternoon. Come over to Kitsune Sai on Twitch or Jamie Shadow 9 on Twitch and watch the podcast. But either way, however you like watching, listening, or even just having us on in the background while you get some chuckles, we appreciate you being here. We love all of you. All 23 of you that are subbed on YouTube. Everybody that watches, gives us a listen. We love you all. Thank you for the support. Let's keep it going. The more you support us, the better we can make the show, the better we can keep crap going. So, take her away, Jamie.
Well. We're talking about a franchise that both of us have a little experience with, but it is in line of what we were talking about last episode. One of Sega's many franchises. We're talking about Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, buddy. Cue hype music.
Ooh, yeah. I'm dancing to it right now, and I can't. I could just hear it in my head. Let's go.
Yep.
So let's keep getting into the feeling. Let me get you into the feeling, okay? You ready? You ready to get into the feeling?
I'm ready. I'm ready to get into this feeling. I'm ready to feel the crabs.
It's February 1999, and it's freezing outside. You walk by an arcade, like usual, and instead of hearing the sounds of Pac-Man, Street Fighter, Shoryuken, or Tekken, you see something new. Hey, come on over and have some fun with Crazy Taxi. You turn, see a typical arcade racing cabinet with funky colors and a taxi driving fanatically around the screen. You walk over and you want to see what the fuss is about, and you get hooked. Sounds like a good time to me. How about you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Bright lights and sounds and really vibrant colors. Oh yeah. 110%. We're all like babies. We're all people that get hooked on colorful stuff. It's like dangling car keys in front of babies. They're just like, Dooma Gaga, give me that.
I love it. That is so 90s.
Oh yeah. 110%. Like it I wish you all could see the picture. I don't know, maybe we'll put it up on screen right here, but if you look at the arcade game, like the arcade cabinet, it legit looks like a Mountain Dew.
Yeah, it does. It does look like a Mountain Dew.
I don't know, it just looks like Mountain Dew colors threw up all over it. And that's what makes it so funny because, walking by, you just see sort of like a racing seat, like a bucket style seat with speakers in the sides, a big TV cabinet in front of you, a bunch of colors that clash, so red, yellow, greens, and you're just like, "Ooh, what's that?" Think I'm gonna go look at it. Bruh, I don't know. I would be very inclined to walk over as well.
Same.
Now,
I think. Oh, go ahead.
oh, thanks. I was gonna say, now Crazy Taxi, aka Kuruji. Forgive me if I like butcher this, but Kuruji Takushi was created by Kenji Kano. Kano-san would join Sega AM3 in 1993. That rhymed. Where
Yeah.
he would work as a director and game designer for arcade games until 2000 or the year 2, whichever you. Kano-san's work would include the entire Crazy Taxi series, Dinosaur King, and the Bandai collaborative title, I believe it's AM Card Game or AM Card Game. I don't know how to pronounce it, but those are just like a couple. Like Mans was deep into creating arcade cabinets. Like that was like his whole thing. Kano-san would conceive the idea for a racing game, but this one wouldn't be like other racing games. This one was going to have a catch. The game would be timed. The game would be originally developed by the aptly named Hitmaker Studio and published by Sega. So although Sega's name is on it, they were just the publisher. But Hitmaker Studio actually developed the game and made it a playable thing.
It's kind of like how, if you're familiar, Nintendo has a lot of like first party games, but some of them are developed by different studios. One of them being Xenoblade Chronicles, which is developed by Monolith.
Or Game Freak, who develops Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But technically, all of them are Nintendo products and published by Nintendo.
Yeah.
So basically, Sega in this instance is like, I'm sorry. Let me take a couple. Basically, Hitmaker Studio is like that one kid that did all the work in the group projects, and Sega is just that kid that just kind of like said, okay, slap my name on it. I gave you money, made it. Now I'm gonna slap my name on it and say that I did it.
Yeah.
So, I guess moral to the story is throw money at your problems and it could solve anything.
Sounds well right to me. But yeah, that it's such an interesting history that this game has.
Yeah, because like,
Just good.
I was gonna say, like, one guy conceived the idea of wanting to make a race, but he wanted it to be timed. And like, the even crazier part is it's not a racing game in the traditional sense. You hear the name Crazy Taxi and you're like, huh? Like, what's going on? Like, why are we even doing this? What's the point? Are we racing taxi cabs?
Mm, I mean, one would think that just by the name only, but no, you're picking up passengers, you're doing tricks, trying to get the best score, and you're also trying to keep your customer happy.
Right? It's basically an early simulator game that teaches you how to work. Very sneaky.
I feel like all video games are that.
Just a little bit. Hey, you guys want to flip burger patties? Okay, do it fast and you get more money.
Listen, I'm in love with Supermarket Simulator, and that is glorified game about retail.
It's glorified work. That's how I feel when I watch Nick's play Story of Seasons. I'm like, oh man, you have that much money? Oh man, that's really cool. Oh, you should sell this. You should grow that. You should keep these. You should store that. And it's like, this isn't really a game. This is just life. Like, I'm basically just being trained to be a farmer in a simulation.
But that's what we love about video games, right? It's fantasy. Like it's stuff that like we would not be able, either we would not be able to do something that we've always dreamed of doing but never had the chance, or whatever the case is. So it gives that immersion of like, well, I can't, or I wanted to be a farmer, but now I get to be a farmer in this game, or in this case, we get to be a cool taxi driver picking up people on the street and doing tricks in our car.
Exactly.
Now, as we said, Crazy Taxi, while being a racing game, was different from others at the time. So you choose your car, you race for first place, and you choose the driver that of the cab. And the game would have lots of characters, but the four we picked out were BD Joe. I know a lot of people are familiar with BD Joe because he was in some other games.
Because he's that
Axel,
guy.
he's that guy. Axel, who is the face of Crazy Taxi on most of the box art. Gus and Jenna, or Gina. I'm not sure if which one.
I was gonna go for Jenna with,
Yeah.
but hey, if we're wrong, correct us in the comments below.
Let us know. Now, Crazy Taxi would set itself apart by rewarding the player for taking shortcuts, driving close to cars without crashing, so having near misses, all with hopes of getting the NPC passengers to their destination in time. The faster you can get your passenger to their location, the more money you'd make. And then the game would also take a non-traditional route. Its time extension mechanic. After the initial deposit of 100 yen, or I think what it was like a quarter in the 90s,
Probably.
the player would deposit more money to have the game clock extended. So that's how the cabinet, the arcade cabinet, would get you to pay to play more. Is that you would put more money into it to extend your timer.
So after doing a quick internet search, in today's money, 100 yen would be the equivalent to about 68 cents.
Okay, so rounded maybe down to like 50 cents for the cabinet.
Probably.
Uh, but yeah, this is how arcades were. You know, you go in and let's say you were playing Mega Man on the arcade. If you wanted an extra Mega Man, if you died, you paid. You put quarters in to get more lives.
Or in the case of like, I guess you could say like the Pew Pew games, you would put more quarters in and get an extra. So
Yeah.
first off, let's back up a bit. If you don't know what an arcade is like a think of it like a big place, like a big building or something, and it's filled with nothing but video games. It's like I don't know if you ever been to like Dave and Buster's, or like if you ever gone to like a go-kart track and you see a specific section dedicated to nothing but video games, but not like home console, not like PlayStation and Xbox, more like arcade gaming cabinets. So like your Mario Kart arcades, your Time Cops, your Tomb Raiders, or your Pac-Mans. These used to be really big things back in like the 80s, the 90s, I believe the 70s as well. I don't remember when the
Mhm.
first video game or the first arcade cabinet came out, but yeah, prior to the 2000s, because home game consoles weren't super, they were popular because now you could bring the arcade home, but
Not everybody had them because they were expensive.
exactly, and if you didn't have friends over or know someone that was like quote unquote the rich kid, you would actually have to go with your friends in a bag of quarters to these places, and you'd stand there for hours playing these games.
Mm.
Now, Crazy Taxi was successful. It was, dare I say, crazy successful. Yeah, I did it. I
Oh.
did it. I made a dad joke.
Whoa, too much dad joke.
That was a knee slapper for y'all. Bunch of people probably clicked off at this point. But Crazy
No.
Taxi was really successful. During the third annual Interactive Achievement Award, Crazy Taxi received nominations, like a couple nominations, for Console Game of the Year because, yes, it was on consoles like the Sega Dreamcast. I believe it was on the PlayStation as well as I'm blanking on the other console that it was on. Oh man, it was a multi-platform.
Dreamcast.
I said Dreamcast first.
Oh, GameCube.
Probably not because I don't believe the GameCube was out in 2000 yet.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, it was, yeah, it was.
Okay. We'll fact check. But yeah, it was definitely a multi-platform game. Oh, well, if I look down a little bit further in the notes, I'd see it. But it was a multi-platform game, and it was considered for Console Game of the Year, Outstanding Achievement in Gameplay Engineering, and Console Action Game of the Year. The game ultimately would win Console Action Game of the Year, and get this, it beat out games like Armada, Gauntlet Legends, Siphon Filter, and here's the kicker, Super Smash Bros. Like the OG Smash Bros. It beat this game out for Console Action Game of the Year. So you know how good Crazy Taxi had to be to beat out a game like Smash Bros. I don't know if this is just like nostalgia goggles, but Smash Bros has always been a pretty popular franchise. Like Nintendo just don't miss when it comes to Smash Bros.
Mm-hmm.
But this game beat the first game. I don't know. Maybe this is what set Smash Bros on the course to be
Get better.
unmesswittable.
I mean, it would make sense. They did come up with Melee on the.
Exactly. So like Melee was the next game following the original Smash Bros, which lost. So I mean, yeah. But
And this was at the height of the console wars as
yeah.
well.
PlayStation is better. No, Xbox is better. You suck. No, you suck. Oh man. So with the success of the Crazy Taxi franchise, the game would have many games. So the original Crazy Taxi was not only an arcade cabinet, but it was also on Dreamcast, Nintendo GameCube, you were right, Jamie, PlayStation 2, PS3, Xbox 360, PC, Steam, and iOS and Android. Bruh, that's just the first game. And obviously, this was over years of development. Like, people liked the original game so much that they just keep re-releasing it for new consoles. But Crazy Taxi 2 will only be released for Dreamcast. Crazy Taxi 3 was arcade, Xbox, and PC. And when I say PC, I don't mean like Steam. I mean like it was a physical disc that you put in your PC. Like this is
when games came on physical CDs.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, and Steam wasn't a thing. Crazy Taxi Catch a Ride was one of the few handheld Crazy Taxi games. It was live on Game Boy Advance. Crazy Taxi Fair Wars was PSP, which is PlayStation Portable. Then you had Crazy Taxi City Rush, which was the phone game, iOS and Android. And the last one, Crazy Taxi Gazillionaire Tycoon and Idle Tycoon, which were also iOS and Android. Whew. So yeah.
So much.
Yeah. I'd say that's a pretty successful franchise, given most games only get like maybe one sequel.
Yeah.
Like 2 at the most, unless you're like super popular.
And maybe like one port to or one game on the phone. Oh man. Such an interesting wealth of success that Crazy Taxi has.
For real.
So much so that a Crazy Taxi reboot is potentially happening.
A Crazy Taxi reboot? What?
Yeah, well, yeah. Let me tell you about it. Sega has plans to make Crazy Taxi a massively multiplayer open world AAA game.
Bro, they're making an MMO.
Yeah.
Yo, Sega's really trying to get back for like they've been going through it over the last couple years. Like they've been trying to revive Sonic as their mascot, and that's been kind of like flip or flop over the last couple years because like
check out the last episode if you want to know more.
Yeah, definitely. Like I won't go too deep into it. But between all the Sonic games that have come out in recent years, like some people love them, some people hate them, some people are indifferent, but Sega is trying, and I honestly, I respect that. I respect them for giving that effort. Because, like, sorry, it's easy to have a name in like the 80s and 90s, but to sustain your name for years, like, Sega could have been neck and neck with Nintendo. I don't know what happened in their history, but somewhere along the way, they just like fell off.
It sounds like it'd be up to the nerd guys to find out.
I know. It sounds like that would be a good episode, right?
Mm-hmm. Now, just like in the arcade game, you will play as a taxi driver speeding through the city, picking up passengers, and performing tricks along the way. The 2023 Game Awards, Sega would announce the comeback of popular Sega games. So, Shinobi, Jet Set Radio or Jet Grind Radio.
So stoked for that. I'm so stoked for that.
Yeah, me too.
I've never played a Jet Set Radio game.
Same. My old friend used to talk about it all the time. And the way he talked about it, he made it sound so much fun. I was like, I want to be able to play this game.
I used to play Tony Hawk games, so like I know Jet Set Radio is like similar, but now there's that one game that's online. I don't know what it's called, but yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about because everyone's been talking about it.
Yeah, and it's like a Jet Set-esque game.
Yeah, kind of like a predecessor to it.
Yeah,
because it features a lot of like the same art style, the same type of humor and story. Yeah, it's very. I heard from a lot of people that's very good. And this came about more. The confirmation of what type of game it would come about in February, where leader of Sega support in Sapporo, Takuya Sagawa, briefly mentioned the Crazy Taxi reboot as a AAA game. So they're serious about this. They want to not make it a B game. They want to make it a very polished, and they want to take their time on it and really put a lot into the game, which is really good. I like hearing that Sega is getting serious about some of its other franchises.
I know, right? Finally, after all these years.
Listen, if they make a Space Channel 5 game again that's AAA, I'm buying it. I'm just saying. And I've never played it, but I've heard good things about that game too.
And the game I was referring to is Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Or Cyberpunk.
Yes.
Which I actually did want to get this for my Switch when I saw it at GameStop. But I never went back to buy it. But I was like, oh man, I want to get that because it looks like Jet Set Radio. And I actually thought it was a successor to Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, I think a different studio made it, but they made it kind of as an homage to Jet Set.
Yeah, like this game, Steam apparently gave it a 10 out of 10.
And it's very good from what I've seen. It's very good from what I've heard. I wanted to go and pick it up myself because I was like, I've never played Jet Set, and just in case they don't come back out with it, I mean, I'll have this. But you know, now it's coming out, so I have to. You know, I'm obligated to get Jet Set as well.
Exactly.
Now, this large-scale, open-world, massively multiplayer driving game will be powered by the Unreal Engine and will have new mechanics while keeping the classic style of Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi game powered in 5.
Yeah. So suffice to say, Sega is very serious. Sega is very serious about making these games come back to the fold. If you watch the 2023 Game Awards, there's a trailer of, you know, just a couple of clips of each one of the games that they were talking about. So, at the Game Awards. It was just super exciting to see like Jet Set and Shinobi and Golden Axe.
I did not like Golden Axe. I thought that game was out awfully.
Yeah. But to see them taking these a lot of these franchises and like, you know what, we're gonna bring them back, we're gonna put them on the market. It's smart. It's very smart, and it gives the gaming market more, and it could encourage other developers to do the same. And if it goes all well, some of the games that or some of the franchises that they have, they can maybe remake some of the older games.
Sonic Heroes, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Heroes, Sonic
Heroes. I'm glad, like, I didn't even have to allude to it. You just said it. I love it. Oh man. Now, we've talked a lot about the game, but what about maybe some of the characters are in the game?
Too hot to go. Say hello to the most happening dude that isn't Sonic. BD Joe. BD Joe is a super happy guy who is a master of driving and, of course, smooth talking. Being able to bring smiles to all his customers' faces. He can drum on anything, and he is a bit of a cardsmith. Hell. Sounds like a 5-star experience to me. BD would drive in other games with his taxi, like Sega Superstars, Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing. That was actually a pretty fun game. Mm-hmm. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transform Part 2. And like, oh man, Wrath of the Dead Rabbit and Sega Heroes. Yo, Mans was in quite a few.
Yeah. Of course we were, we look into all the stuff that we do for each one of these episodes. When I was looking into this for BD Joe, I had no idea that he was something he was in.
Hold on, I have to look this one up.
Well, hell yeah. Wrath of the Dead Rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was either until I saw it.
What is this? Oh, it's an arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
What? That's why I love when characters like crossover, like do crossovers. Mm-hmm. That's always great because it's like seeing your favorite character in a different franchise, which is always refreshing.
Smash Bros.
I know, that's basically the gold standard at this point. After years,
Joe for Smash.
After years of people complaining and begging, they finally put Sora in there, and Sora was pretty mid. Not even gonna lie about that one. But
he was very floaty.
Yeah. But like, yeah, when you think about it, games like Marvel vs. Capcom, where like your favorite heroes fight against each other, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Tekken Cross, Street Fighter, like
Tosunoku versus Street Fighter.
Yeah, Sonic and Sega, not Sonic and Sega All-Star Racing, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, RIP.
PlayStation All-Stars Racing. I mean, not racing. PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale. There we go.
Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't that like JS9?
Not
JS9. JS Superstars. Is that what it was called? I gotta check it out.
Jumpstar.
J-Star.
J-Star, I think.
The game we
J-Star.
never got.
PlayStation All-Stars was basically PlayStation's Smash Bros.
Oh, now you have like multiverses, but yeah.
And also the Nickelodeon
Rumble or whatever the heck it's called.
Yeah.
Powdered Toast Man.
Powdered Toast Man.
Oh man.
Yeah. Now, BD Joe is the face for some of those games, but we gotta actually talk about the baby face, or I guess I don't know. I guess he would be a baby face, but yes, the face of the game, the man with the Hot Wheels. It's time to talk about the hot-headed face of Crazy Taxi, Axel. I would say, I'm so flattered, but that's the wrong one. As a 10-year-old boy, Axel dreamed of being the coolest cabbie in town. He would go on to deliver great vibes.
I'm sorry. As a 10-year-old boy, you're telling me this
Axel?
kid dreamed about being taxi driver.
Yep.
High aspiration. Let me not say that. Being a taxi driver is a respectable profession.
Yeah.
And
just like being a firefighter or a policeman.
And it's basically the equivalent of being an Uber driver modern day. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, our parents always tell us you can be anything if you put your mind to it.
I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, you're good. He would go on to deliver great vibes to his customers, which is how he got the big tips. Off the clock, Axel spends his time playing bass and picking up ladies. But because of his hot head, he often gets dumped by bands and women's alike. It happens. Man's gotta he gotta cool down. He gotta calm down a little bit.
Be out there asking
Axel
got it memorized.
Got it memorized. Axel would also appear in other games like Sega Superstars, Sonic Riders, and Sega Hero.
Really?
Yes.
The first Sonic Riders?
Yes, the first Sonic Riders.
Huh, it's funny because I was sitting there. All right, if you don't know, shameless plug, I recorded a playthrough of Sonic Riders. So if you want to go check that out on my YouTube channel, Kitsune Sai, shameless plug. But I've been thinking about putting together a video of how to unlock all these characters, and I did not know that he was one of the characters. Like, it's been a really long time, and now I'm like, I'm about to have to.
He's not one of the unlockable characters. He makes a cameo in one of the stages.
Oh, he makes a cameo in one of the stage. Yeah. Now I gotta go on a hunt because now I want to know.
Although that would be cool if he had if he was in there with a taxi themed
I know,
board.
right? That's what I thought for a second. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, I loved. It was so funny when I wrote that because I didn't say that anything to you about that.
Man, well, I'm glad you didn't because that was like a huge surprise factor, and I'm like, man, I really want to start playing that game like a little bit more now because I need to know what stage he makes a cameo in.
Thank you for the biddy, Epsi.
All right, so unfortunately, this is the end of the episode. Before you click off, we have a couple of questions to ask you. Sound off in the comments. Let the nerd guys know. What's the best Crazy Taxi game in the franchise? Your opinion, of course. Or fact, if If you have numbers, toss them down here. What's your favorite game? And who's your favorite character? Until next time. I'm sorry, yeah.
Oh, that's all I wanted to say.
Well, Jamie said, until next time, I've been Kitsune Sai.
And I've been Jamie Shadow 9.
And we're going crazy.
Crazy. Bye.
Bye.